I Let's do another Am I the Asshole. We'll keep my judge cloak on for now. Let's see how this one is. Okay, this one is from Ghosty with the Mosty. I like your name. All right, am I the asshole or what? Campaigns in problem player. Sorry for the wall of text. Okay, it's not that long. All right, so I've been doing RPG tabletop games for a while, running them for less than most, 2 or so years. A small number of campaigns, but they run long. I've recently had a whole mess of problems start bubbling to the surface in our group. All the people in the game are friends, some of which I live with, and one of which I date. Okay. Campaign one. First campaign I started running. Uh, MOTW. I'm not sure what that stands for. Horror thing. Lovecraftian. Um, yeah, I'm actually not sure what that stands for, but sure, it's Lovecraftian. It's cool. I stayed in a small town and gave people plenty of time to ask questions and build characters, especially since it was my first time DMing. Everyone was fine with it. I had a good character, was going rad until when we started, until my friend, Blue, problem player, asked to do some stuff in the small town. I provided a map of buildings and told her they don't have that in a small town. Here's something close, though, given the setting is a small ghost town in the rural woods. Blue literally started looking like they're on the verge of tears and gets emotionally distressed because I can't imagine being in a town like that, on top of, as it turns out, not liking horror. So they asked us to stop the campaign and let them cool off. That has been nearly a year. Okay. Interesting. Um, Campaign 2, a Fallout homebrew of D&D we'd all found and agreed to try out with me DMing. Not everyone in the group had played the game, so I only really used some set pieces and then made totally original factions and locations. That way you wouldn't need to play the games to get it all, really. Interesting. Seems pretty cool. So everyone starts building great characters. Even the ones who never played wound up making two stellar characters without realizing how well they'd fit. Blue made a tiefling. Now they didn't tell me that. They insisted it was a ghoul and even asked me for descriptions of their looks. I gave them that, the whole breakdown, and what it said in the manual, all of it. Game rolls around, and I mentioned some set dressing, and they drop, well, I have horns. Would I stand out? They never once mentioned this. As it turns out, the only difference between their character and a normal human was horns, razor teeth, and like one big scar on the face. Not even close to what they'd said. None of it was run by me at all. Game continues on, and once again, Blue gets stressed, insisting I'm referencing a lot of game things. I'm not, and we should stop. One of our friends, reasonable player, says a nice idea might be to watch some lore videos so some people might understand that they aren't being left out. Sounds good, I say. None of them at all have watched a single one I've sent, and it's like 40 minutes long tops. Most of them don't do anything all day but watch videos even, so the campaign is dead in the water. Campaign 3. Alright, this is interesting. Just one second. Okay. Sorry. This is probably going to be the last one, actually, because I got to go do some. But thank you for sticking around, those of you who are here. I appreciate it. I hope you've had fun. And those of you who are not here, if you watch this on the YouTubes later, I hope you enjoy them too. Anyway, continuing. Campaign 3. This is the one I've gone off the deep end about. Made a really in-depth world, standard D&D, around a campaign for the Infinity Zones. Oh, God. All right. Sorry. A homebrew I found worked some balances in, run by players. The whole thing has gone great for over a year for the most part. There's been fun combat, adventures across the continent. I've been really proud of it, and it's my best run campaign so far. After the last session, Blue decided to break the back of it. The first start I mentioned the game would have serious plot elements, while obviously leaving good room for humor, and to not just make joke characters and goof off during every scene, literally. Everyone got that. Build style of characters, the works. It was honestly amazing, aside from Blue. Blue decided to make a Kenku bard. Fine, and use their quirk to only speak back to people. Literally, the only thing this Kenku could say were words repeated in the moment or said at them. They couldn't form any kind of sentence. Not a great way to do that, in my opinion. Yeah, I could kind of agree with that. They also, I mean, Kenkus are cool. I think it's interesting. If you can make a really interesting Kenku characters by, doing different voices, making different sounds. I think it's really cool. But if you're just gonna, I don't know, just in my opinion. They also tried to steal anything not nailed down, acted really silly in all scenes no matter what, and even hated the magical item freebie I gave them so they could help with their speech. Meta there, the player hated it. Uh, uh, um, Game carries on, and I asked a few seconds later why Blue was doing this. Blue's response is, "Oh, I know you said serious, but then I saw some NPCs and decided to make a joke character." Are you fucking kidding me? Blue kept trying to justify it, and because they get pouty when told they're wrong, someone backed them up to a degree before I had to demand an apology outright for that. You're wrong and shouldn't have done that. It's not okay. For a while, that was fine and dandy. Went long few sessions like that. Um, okay. So for everyone's making character developments, stories, working out things they didn't even think they get the chance to, aside from Blue. Blueberry made any lore and had some shoved on them so they could actually play a character. After a massive session building up, pulling off a grand heist, winning an orchestra contest, and getting to the final boss that had been building up for weeks, it all went to hell. I asked Blue to make a flat dex roll. They asked why. Can I add a modifier there? At the time, I said no. It's just a flat roll. Don't worry. Spoiling it here. It was literally just going to be a thing for flavor and no way to impact their action. But I kept trying to ask if I was being crazy because I did think at the time you could do flat rolls like that. Some people were just telling me some info like when it was usually done, how that could work. Basically, help sway me over to Blue's side in a reasonable manner. I was totally about to succeed on it too, in hindsight, and after like 5 minutes explaining, yeah, I could super let them add a modifier there. Blue drops from the call mid session, throws a roll on our Discord, and refuses to speak to anyone at all for days on end. I finally have to ask them what's going on. I live with them, and they expressed their frustration with how much they felt attacked. Nobody did anything hostile. They were the only one yelling and being aggressive. Eventually, it came to them literally asking to be killed off or the game be halted until they felt fine enough to play. Basic issue of all this is that this player has been involved in almost all my campaigns being ended or put to the side for something they want. Not to mention the group we're in probably won't want to leave them out if they get killed from a campaign. My worry is that one, I'm the asshole here, and two, decided they should can a third campaign because it wouldn't be fair. Would live right at the climax of an arc. I'm seriously toying with the fact that if they do this, I'm gonna stop playing with them. I'm not gonna play when all my stuff is in danger of being thrown out whenever Blue gets pissy. I'm at least not the only person who thinks this. I figured I'd post this and get some non-biased point of views. Um, yeah, I mean, honestly, like I feel like this is just a case of like someone like not liking the DM style. Like I'm sure, I mean, you got some cool stuff here. The Infinity Stones thing kind of made me roll my eyes a little bit, but like the Fallout stuff seems really cool, and the Lovecraft, I love Lovecraftian horror, so that seems like really cool. Like the concepts and stuff. But I think probably that like Blue just um probably enjoys a different kind of style of playing. And they might have different expectations for it, and they might be uncomfortable with certain things. And I think at some point you just got to be like, look, like maybe if you want to be their friend, maybe they're fine outside of the game. Like just be like, hey, look, maybe we can continue this without it. When it without you, or like if you're not liking it, or like maybe find them a different group because like it just seems like she doesn't fit in with the rest of the group, like in terms of their style of the DM style. I feel like that's really the case of it. I just feel like it's two different people that have different ways of playing the game. I mean, just getting if things don't go your way, like that seems kind of messed up. Like sometimes things don't go your way in D&D, and sometimes you can't do anything about it. Um, and just getting angry about it isn't going to help anyone. I think maybe both could have handled it better. I mean, OP seems like they did okay about it. So that's my opinion. Um, I would say not the asshole in general. But I don't think the other person is that much of an asshole. But I think it's just a lot of miscommunication. But that's me. So anyway, on that note, we're gonna stop the stream there. I hope you all enjoyed watching. I know I did. I liked a lot of these stories. I have a lot of fun doing these, so I might try to make this a regular thing because it's a lot of fun reading these. I enjoy it, and it's something I'm I'm gonna sound like an asshole here. Like relatively knowledgeable about. So maybe I'll do it. Maybe let me look good. So thank you all for coming. I'm probably gonna post these to YouTube. I'm gonna figure out how I want to format it. If I want to do it per post, or if I want to just do a bunch in one post. I'll figure that out at some point. But thank you for coming. I hope you have a nice night. Stay safe out there. And have a good one. Peace.